What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Miss Cat, your coach, accountability partner, and teacher. And we're here yet again. Yet again, season 2. I can't even believe that we made it this far. We are in season 2 of Both Sides of the Check podcast. And I just want to say, for those that have been tapping in, for those that have been following the progression of this show, we just say thank you sincerely. Now, before we jump into this topic, for those that are new here, I think that it's just a time and place for us to introduce ourselves and just let you guys know what this show is about. So, like I said, I'm Miss Cat. I am the owner of Miss Cat's consulting firm, and we specialize in taking people's concept and making it into a company. So if you need some coaching and mentorship, if you're trying to start a business, make sure you tune in and get with me. And I'm here with my girl, LaShawn.
What's up? Yes, I'm not surprised that we made it this far. I'm not. I am, just overjoyed that we've made it this far. I believe that we can do it. I believe in what me and my girl, Miss Cat, have been having going on. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am LaShawn, for you who are just now tuning in. LaShawn Dunn. I'm the owner of the Party Palace, half owner of the Party Palace, and we specialize in events and event decor, event planning. So if you need me, just look me up. I'm on social media, TPP Venue on Instagram, and the Party Palace HTX on Facebook.
Awesome. So for those that are new here, this show is designed and developed and facilitated for those that are looking to get to the other side of the check. What does that mean? We have our check writers and we have check cashers. So for those that don't know our terms, a check writer is a full-time entrepreneur. So they don't do anything else but entrepreneurship. A check writer is someone that may be, on a 9-to-5, but their business is more or less like a side hustle. All right. So if you're interested in becoming a check writer, this show is for you. This is what we designed this show to be, for those that are looking to, become check writers and, potentially leave that 9-to-5. So this topic, you ready, Sean?
I'm very ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. So guys, let's keep it real. We don't bring no fluff. We don't bring, we come with the real and the raw. Okay.
Oh.
So we always talk about things that most people be thinking about, but they don't want to say. Okay. So today I'm going to start this off, spicy. This going to be spicy. And the reason why it's spicy is because this topic is kind of personal, because I do have a personal friend that I'm referring to. I'm not going to say their name, but I have a friend of mine who I do business with. All right. And what I will say is she is very spiritual. She loves the Lord. She makes that very clear, and so on and so forth. But sometimes when we get on our business calls with other, like our mentees or things of that nature, she brings some of those spiritual concepts to the call. So let me give you guys an example for those that may be like, what is she talking about? So I remember one time we were talking to our mentees and we were telling them, hey, let's go get the bag. It's, let's go get this money, right? And she proceeded to say, well, once we get this money, guys, let's make sure that we all go pay our tithe. And I was like, what? Like, huh? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I love the Lord, but I don't know if I could say that I am with the traditional tithe giving. So I don't know if that struck me the wrong way because that was just not my personal belief, or if, just bringing in, God and spiritual topics and things of that nature in business, if that is appropriate. So today, I just want to chop it up and talk about it. Like, am I tripping, Sean? Like, to feel that business and spirituality should not mix, or, what you think?
First, I definitely want to speak from my heart on that. Like, I feel like with God, nothing is possible.
Mm.
So I can respect someone who wants to make sure that it's known that God is at the head of their lives. I think there is a time and place where you share such things, because you should already have, kind of gotten yourself together before you leave your house to go out and do business, which means whatever it is that you do to get yourself ready for the day, pray, meditate, things like that. What I am not a fan of is imposing my will onto someone else. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, like just kind of taking it a step back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Business is business, and my religion and what I believe in is something totally separate. Because I certainly don't want to offend anybody. Not that that's right or wrong. I think it boils down to personal belief. But I can see it both ways, but I wouldn't, bring it into a business meeting if it's not with someone that I didn't, deal with personally. And I'm assuming from this call that it was a lot of people that you didn't, you didn't know
that part. So and yes, so I didn't frame that and I didn't preface that, but you're absolutely right. We get on a call with, like I said, these are our mentees, and like I said, granted, I do believe as a Christian, you should be bold. You should be, willing to, to get the message out. You want to try to, convert and save souls. But at the end of the day, is it really to that point, when you're doing business, you don't know who you're doing business with. And what if you have a conflict in religion and now they don't want to do business with you no more? You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, do you take that risk of being this, Jesus freak, for the lack of better terms, you know what I'm saying? Where you could be possibly turning folks off. And then now they don't want to do business with you no more. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just, I'm just asking.
Yeah. I guess, like I say, I just, it's a very sensitive subject.
Yes.
For a lot of people that are deep into their faith, their religion, it's a very touchy, conversation to have. But at the same time too, like, just to avoid this type of controversy or just, an argument or yes or no on doing business, I think that, maybe just not talking about it is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to pray for myself before I leave the house.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Before I get on a business call, I'll say my prayers and I'll do these type things. And I mean, you feel people out and you'll know who it is that you can step to like that, or not. And not saying that it's you just like, oh, I'm forgetting about Jesus or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, you just want to feel people out, and to keep from having a rough conversation, just don't have a conversation.
Because for me, honestly, it's kind of like talking about politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's just some things that you just don't touch on, in my opinion.
When you're doing business.
Yeah, like business. So again, just for those that are watching, just so we have clarity, our show is geared to entrepreneurs. Now, whatever you do in your real personal life, that's your business. But what we're trying to do is touch on subjects that are specifically to entrepreneurs. So if we're doing business, is it appropriate to mix in your religion? That's what we're basically trying to, talk through, right? And like I said, for me, you made a great point. When you start talking about religion, politics, this, that, and the third, now it start opening up some other can of worms. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't come here for that. We came to talk about business, and now we disputing the Bible, or talking about some other stuff, from something. And again, that one little comment, make sure you pay your tithe, that could have blowed up to be something totally, it could have turned the whole call into a left field, because and of course it's not intentional, but again, we don't know who we're entertaining on these calls.
That early on anyway, because you said it was kind of like
like a new group, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know who you're entertaining. You don't, and kind of like what you mentioned, when we was talking about it, last night, then if we be like, oh, well, let's open the call in prayer. And then, it's like, well, let me pray to my God and you pray to God, then it's like, what's really happening here. Right. So
I mean, I just think that it's just a time and place for everything. And I just, I'm protective of certain things. And I think that that's one thing that I would protect, and not bring it into an atmosphere that I'm unaware of. I would be spirit led. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like I'm going to pray for someone that is in the group, I'll feel that person out first. Yeah. I would be feeling those people out first.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, for me, I know that I think like for me, I think it's like, what you know, right? So it's like, if I know that God is my Lord and Savior, and I'm
not going to debate that with somebody. I don't even want to have a debate about that.
And not just that, like, I'm confident enough that I don't have to be on the call like everybody. Let's, what you get what I'm saying? Because I guess for me, like, I know that God is my Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? I know what he means in my life. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take it in no type of way, if we don't make this big hoopla, about it.
Open up with prayer or what have you.
This, that, and the third. Like, I just feel like when it comes to business, now, again, we're talking about business, not our personal lives. When it comes to business, I feel like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? To separate the two. Like, I feel like that's okay. But I also do understand, though, in business, there are some principles that you probably would need to implement in order to make it through in business. So I know that some coaches and mentors, they actually do implement, spirituality in it, because like when we're talking about foundations and principles that can help us in our business, you can use the Bible and you can use, principles to help build that up. So I get that. But again, I think it's kind of like what you said, a time and place. If I just meet you and we just now meeting and exchange, doing business together.
Probably want to hold off.
Yeah. Like, is it appropriate? Like, girl, I'm going to give you this quote, but let's start with prayer or, or what, like, to me, it's just kind of awkward.
I mean, and if I want to start with prayer again, a lot of things, in my opinion, is about position and posture. Yeah. I'm going to position myself and posture myself before I get started on this call. So, or go in this meeting or what have you, like, it gives me the opportunity to get myself together without, again, imposing my will and my beliefs on someone else. So I think it also boils down to, I mean, if we just being clear, it's about respect. You know what I mean? It can boil down to respect, because I don't want you to say or do anything that's gonna disrespect my God. So let me let the God in me just show up when I show up. You know what I'm saying? Like
that part.
Like let God be seen through me. You know what I mean? Not me just having to keep saying it or what have you. So I just think it's something that should be kept separate until you get on that level. Yeah. And it may you may have 5 out of 10 people that you can pull to the side before we get started and say, hey, you know what? We've been doing good. But this, again, is after you've already established that relationship. Yeah. You know what I mean? After the fact, hey, we getting ready to start this meeting. It's been going good. You've already made certain comments to these people. Like, let's just go into prayer before we get started. Do you mind if we pray or what have you? Or just, kind of feel the air, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like feel the air and then go from there. And I think that'll keep down a lot of confusion and just, back and forth with it. Just feel people out and know your people. That's just it. But you don't know your people from 1 or 2 interactions, especially when it's a Zoom or what have you. You don't know these people because you're servicing people from everywhere. What if it's somebody from another country that, they Buddhist, right?
Exactly. Anything. And again, I think what you said, that was a big word, respect. Respect, because not everybody is in alignment with what you are, and that doesn't make it wrong or right. But why would we enter in a business interaction awkwardly? And I feel like that's awkwardly, starting off a relationship, because that could be off-putting. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, that could be really off-putting if I'm force feeding you something and you like, well, I don't even believe. And then, like you said, it could potentially start opening up a can of worms that don't even need to be open. Like, we don't even need, like, well, how did we get here? You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, I just think that there are some things that just don't mix with business. And hey, this is Miss Kat's opinion. I didn't say that this was life or word or Bible or scripture, right?
And I wouldn't necessarily say don't mix with business, because I feel like, me personally, that God and my faith and religion and all that stuff, I think that it is very much a part of it. It's very much mixed in, but that's what I think. Well, I don't know what someone else thinks.
So that's why I was saying, for me, Miss Cat, I don't think that business and religion mix. And what I mean by that, I have God in me, not on me. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's inside of me. So wherever I go, he's with me. So I don't have to go to a business meeting and be like, girl, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Let's go to church Sunday. Well, like, I don't have to do business. Like, I don't have to lead.
Like, I just feel like he's already gone before me.
Yeah, so
you know what I'm saying. So I don't even have to come and announce him. Yeah, like, let's just get down to business.
That's what I mean when I say mixing business and religion. I don't feel the need, like, you know what I'm saying, because again, he's in me, not on me, and I don't have to, like you said, like, lead with it or announce it or whatever the case may be. And then what I don't want to do, me personally, is I don't want to offend or go into a different direction that don't have nothing to do with what we talking about.
And I mean, like, even now, like, we're saying some stuff. We're saying a lot of stuff that's relevant. Yeah. But it's still something that's like, it's a lingering conversation. Yeah. Where it still goes back to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's almost like you just, don't even include it, because it's just too much back and forth. You know what I mean? It's a really great topic to just, like, kind of say, hey, cut and dry. We here to do business. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's it.
And what I also want to express, I don't think that makes you less of a Christian. I don't think that makes you less of a Jesus freak or whatever. However, like, I don't think that makes you less than whatever you're aspiring to be, with your relationship with the Most High, right? Yeah. But I do think that, like you said, until a rapport is established and until we understand that, hey, we are equally yoked in that, in that regard, like, when I come to the table, let's just come to the table and talk business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's funny because as we've been progressing through, these episodes and things of that nature, I'm starting to find we have some people that are Team Sean and some that are Team Miss Cat. You know what I'm saying? So this might be that time where y'all might not be Team Miss Cat. You like, hey, I'm gonna let my light so shine. Yeah. But I will be remiss as a person that is a full-time entrepreneur that do this in real life, not to just, I would say be cautionary with it, because you may be turning people off. You may have thought that business interaction because they didn't say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? They might not say, yo, that turned me off. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't say nothing to you, but then when they keep avoiding your call, when you're trying to wrap up that deal, or why they didn't sign the check, or, why you keep trying to chase them down and now you can't hear back from them, that, some of those little things that you don't think are that important
may be important to someone else.
That part.
And I mean, like you said, some people are going to be Team Miss Cat, some people are going to be Team Sean, but I mean, I just and between us, we talk about it all the time. Like, spiritually, it's in just like my faith and my walk is personal to me. So I don't want to share something personal with people that I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like it'd be doing if we start talking about this when we're talking about business. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like you made some real great points. So you know what I mean? you went ahead and pleaded your case on this. You know what I mean? So,
and hey, and just to land the plane, and wrap this thing up, like I said, in my opinion, if God is in you, then let him shine through you. You know what I'm saying? Let him shine through you.
Yeah.
I personally, and again, this is Miss Cat speaking, I personally do not condone you mixing in any religious topics, politics, any of those things.
Business.
Yeah, I personally do not think that you should go to any business meeting, especially if I'm just meeting you. Like, if I'm just meeting you, I think there are just certain things that you
just not gonna talk
should
about.
not talk about. And religion is definitely one of them. And imposing your beliefs and your, what you feel that people should do, I just think that should be off topic, in my opinion. So, because like I said, you might have thought because they were being polite, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't call you out on it. You might have thought, oh, we had such a great meeting lunch and everything was perfect. And then you never hear back from them again. So again, just consider those things, as you're doing business.
And I guess that's your final thought.
That's my final thought.
What I would say is, being an entrepreneur is about learning and growing. You'll learn as you go along. So if your team Sean on this or team Cat on this, do what works for you. Do the work. If you want to, go into a business meeting and do that, you'll have something to bring back. Put it in the comments. Let us know how it went, and just go from there. Because I don't want us to be like, we don't respect what people feel or what they're doing. We're just speaking from our own experiences and what we feel is best. So certainly do what you feel is best for you in your business. But just be mindful.
Because some people might be like, look, if you don't accept this or accept me for who I am, like, I don't even want to do business with you. You know what I'm saying? So that might be and I'm gonna be honest. And I thought we was landing this plane, but I do have a real story. So there is this graphic designer that I work with, do graphics, and for me, I do all different type of events, right? And so it was this one particular event, and it's never nothing raunchy or nothing like whatever, but for whatever reason, the graphic designer said, hey, I can't do this graphic for you because it's out of alignment with my, I won't say religious belief or whatever, but he's a Christian graphic, whatever. So most of the graphics that he does is like, for churches and stuff like that. So I say that to say, now for me, I'm like, business is business. As long as it's not naked people or whatever, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? Get that money. But in some regard, some people like, look, this is not in alignment. I want people to understand that I only represent the Most High and this, that, and the third. And so he passed up on my coins, you know what I'm saying? Because that was his thing. So I guess to dip on the other side, right? For those that are like, hey, this is who I am, whatever, that's just a prime example that, hey, like Sean said, do what's best for you, you know what I'm saying? And, for your business, but just always keep in mind that could potentially turn some clients off, or you might lose out on some, business if you are, so particular.
But even with you saying that too, it's like, you as an entrepreneur, you have that right. Versus if you're a check casher, you don't have that right. You have to service everybody that the company you work for, is doing business with. But if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, and you're a check writer, then you have the right to turn down business if it's not in alignment with what it is that you believe or that you feel, and that is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's your right. If if you have a sacrifice that you make, to not do business with certain people or to do certain things, I'm Hey, we talked about that. That's a sacrifice.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We talked about that before.
But
that's a sacrifice. It's a type of sacrifice.
But speaking to that, though, that just really makes you think, though, you know, we do talk about check writers versus check cashers. So that's a benefit. You know what I mean? So I want to take a beat and just pause right there to let you guys know
that's a benefit.
That is actually a benefit to being a check writer, is that you get to choose your clients. And we talked about that too. Like, not everybody is your client. So in this regard, if, you know, religion is super important, and if you want everybody to, you know, respect you as some, you know, this particular type of, you know, business or whatever, then yeah, you can choose and say, hey, I only work with Christians, or I only work with this, or people, you know, whatever. We gonna pray first. I don't know, but so that is one of the benefits of and perks of being a check writer.
Oh,
so yeah, I think right there.
I think that's a good place to put a pin in it.
I about to say, I think that about wraps it up.
that definitely that's the wrap up.
For sure. So guys, this is season 2. We're coming in strong, and we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Stay posted, because it ain't gonna stop. We're gonna just keep getting in and diving in deeper and deeper and deeper. So I'm Miss Kat, your coach, accountability partner, and teacher.
And I'm your girl, LaShonda Dawn from the Party Palace.
And we're both sides of the check.